Marvelous. Alright, so I'm gonna be reading my diary entries from, looks like from 11th grade right now, August 3rd at 10:25 p.m. So I would have been in 11th grade or 10th grade, around there at this time. Probably 11th grade, yeah, I probably would have just started 11th grade. So today, did not do much. Got told by mom because of the Frank thing. Went to the health food store and Walmart. Then yeah, played on my guitar and chatted on Facebook all day. I was really being a troll today on Facebook, but apparently some people liked it. Samantha randomly texted me today saying, "I'm so awesome." Lies! I wrote that in bold. Very big bold. She was watching anime and, yeah. Man, I'm so weird. Such a shame. Oh yes, William Fitzsimmons. When I watched him talk and sing and just look at him and I see me, he's much more down to earth than me, but yeah, I have ADD. Nothing to say. My life is really not eventful. Am I meant to be alone forever? I'm sort of 50-50 on it. Love comes out in a few days. Monday, August 8th, 10:13 p.m. I'm pathetic. I wish I could be better. I wish I wasn't so lame. Anyway, today. Today I went to the high school and changed a class. I waited for 3 hours to get one class changed. I remember this specifically. It was actually, I didn't mind doing that when I think about it. That was kind of fun. I saw old people, my old friends there, and just seeing new people or your friends after the summer is very fun because you see how they changed. And it's always good, it's always awesome, they're always cooler. They have longer hair from the summer and their styles changed. I came out of the bathroom and I saw Riley and Kelsey. Kelsey broke up with Josh, or they're not dating anymore. IDK. She seemed happy though. I think I might actually like Kelsey. IDK. Oh yeah. I drove to the school. The school drive is boring. I actually like it. When I think about it now, it's, of course, everything's more nostalgic, or everything seems perfect from far away. If you'll know that song, and if you'll forgive maybe the overly sentimental sentiment in that. Yeah, it was my school. How long away was it from my house? I lived in Washington Fields, in southern Utah, and it was probably next to Bloomington, around there, so it'd be like a car drive. It was out in the desert, so there's nothing of interest out there, and it was essentially on like a more back road type of road, so just the drive there was really dull and a little bit long. Probably took around 20 minutes for me to arrive at school. 20 minutes, about, yeah. If I was just driving in a car, and with the bus, probably the same amount of time, maybe 30 minutes. Probably, yeah, just 10 minutes longer. And my high school was literally right across, like it was adjacent to the middle school or intermediate school, which I don't know if they do over in the country, in the United States. I don't know if intermediate schools are more prevalent now, or like more have been built. But if you're not familiar with intermediate schools, they're essentially an intermediate school where you sort of blend middle school and high school together. So you have grades like 8 and 9 and 10 attending an intermediate school, and then you go into high school. You go to a high school for grades 11 and 12, which I didn't know existed until I attended one when I moved to southern Utah. I lived in just central Utah, or like Salt Lake City area, when I was in elementary school, and my sister went to a middle school, and there was no intermediate schools around the Salt Lake City area. There was just middle school or junior highs and high schools. So when I first started the 7th grade, I attended a middle school where I was in Arizona, but then I moved to southern Utah, and they're like, you're going to be attending a intermediate school. I was like, what the fuck is an intermediate school? But that's, if you even know anything about that, I could Google it, but it'd be more interesting just to have a conversation with people about intermediate schools and whether your state has them, or even in your country, if you're from outside the States, Canada even, UK, or South Africa, I don't know, wherever. When I got home, Jeff and Courtney wanted to play, so yeah, we went to Jeff's house. It was really weird. They are always picking on each other. Yeah, I don't like talking. I feel different, less funny, not like I ever was though. I just feel sort of strange. Well, I guess I'll just end here. Good night. The main reason that reading these is to sort of understand where I've come from. I really don't know I don't really know much about myself right now. I'm essentially doing this for attention. I have depression and an anxiety disorder, I think. I say I think. I'm on antidepressants, and my general doctor, my general practitioner, he's like, the little slip I got for my medicine, it said like anxiety and diagnosis, depression and anxiety, and I have a therapist, and he won't diagnose me with anything, because I asked him once and he said, you'd probably have major depression or clinical depression. It's not that bad, but that's what you have. But he wouldn't tell me anything more than that, just because I want to have mental illness so I can have attention. That's what I want. And I just Googled in, I want to have a mental illness, and on Psych Central there was an article or a question answer type deal where like a user, like one of those newspaper, like, write into Sally and she'll answer your question or something like that, and one of the writers had the same sort of thing, but he or she was actually physically harming themselves with cutting. I've never done that. I've never wanted to cut. I've been too afraid to cut myself or harm myself physically, so instead of doing that, I would harm myself mentally or psychologically. This is a really long confession now, isn't it? But I would just try to do anything I could to hurt myself emotionally or psychologically, which is not very specific. I sort of developed a mechanism for attention by wanting to hurt myself, so I would isolate myself, and I did isolate myself, and sorry, I have to think about this, because it's like I'm thinking about the first time I started having these thoughts, which was around 15, and I was alone in my room, and I was depressed, and I hated the world, and I hated my parents, and I thought if I could destroy myself, I could reach out to others after I've saved myself and become a great person for this. So that was my thought at 15, and I didn't really feel like I was acting on it at that time, but I knew it was happening, I think. Not a definite answer, but yeah, I would just think of that all the time, just like, how can I hurt myself so I can get stronger? And I think that sort of to this day too, like, I'm in a depression right now. If I can stay in it longer, and if I can hurt myself more, and then I can become a greater person when I lift myself out of it. So why would I ever want to escape this depression? Because when I do, I will be not as great as I could be if I just hurt myself more. So trying to wrap that up, just trying to figure out about myself, trying to validate my feelings for back then, because I really never believed in my feelings because of other people, what they tell me about them, which is probably the worst thing I could ever do. I think this is very serious stuff in my journal. I think this is a very serious issue I'm dealing with, or was dealing with, as a 15-year-old, or 15-year-old, and just a 15-year-old in general, or just a person. I think that was a hard thing to go through. Leaving it to other people is not an option. The end, but I won't read it anyway, because I want attention! And I don't have to post this video, but I'll read it anyway. August 12th, July 2011. So yeah, today I was supposed to go out to the fair with my friends, but ... Jeff didn't have enough room in his car, so they neglected to text me that, so yeah, lame. I feel like a pariah more and more as the days pass. I want to be better, but I just can't. Damn it, Eagle Scout. There's like tons of scribbles on the pages. Really frustrated about getting my Eagle Scout, because at that time, my Eagle Scout, everybody knows what an Eagle Scout is, but basically it's, in Utah, anybody who goes to, the Mormon church, who, believes in the Mormon faith, is an Eagle Scout, or an Eagle Scout is a Boy Scout, as well, if they're, of that age. And with a lot of parents, you have these rules that, I don't even know if it's a lot of parents, but I've talked to a couple people, not a couple people, what if several people, and the boys, if they don't get their Eagle Scout at 16, which is the general age that every young man gets his Eagle Scout, every teen boy gets his Eagle Scout, then you can't get a car. And for me, I never wanted to be a Boy Scout. Well, I did when I was around 7 years old, because that was like what not all my friends were doing at the time, but what I thought was interesting. When I was first exposed to the Boy Scouts, I thought that was really cool and seemed like a lot of fun. So I wanted to join at that age. And then I attended, I think, about 2 meetings, or whatever you call them, when you're a weeblo, or that. And I decided, well, I didn't decide, I was just very much opposed. I didn't like it. I didn't like being a Boy Scout at all. It was not fun. to me, but my mom forced me to do it. And so I did forever. I didn't enjoy it one bit. I hated going for all those years, and I never really put in any effort into my merit badges, or even cared about them. So essentially, I had really good leaders, as I'm told, so they pretty much put everything together for me, like the work I needed to do to get a promotion in the Boy Scouts, to become a Weeblo, or like Cub Scouts, and then Life Scout, or whatever the rankings are. And yeah, they did pretty much all the work for me. I mean, I still had to participate, but they were really like the driving factor in me getting my merit badges. I never did any optional ones, so I just had the required ones. I was just doing what I was told to do, or else. Maybe there was no or else at that time that I can recall, but I did not enjoy going to the campouts or the just weekly meetings. And yeah, at 16, 15-ish, I was under a lot of pressure. Everybody is, or I think, it's about getting like a car and driving around, maybe getting a job, or like girls. For me, maybe it was more about girls. Which I'll read about, and I'll just continue reading right now. I just don't want to do anything. I just want everything given to me. Ugh, man, passion play, please. Passion play must be a song. But yeah, I still want everything given to me. My car just broke. I just burnt out the engine in my car, and I don't care to look for a new one. I just don't care. I spent a lot of time looking for a car actually tonight, but I'd rather just have my dad find me one. I just want everything given to me. I don't want to work for anything. Love, what are you made to give and what you are made to give and entitled to receive. Nothing else matters except for the grace of your lips against mine. Give me your hand. That's uncomfortable to read. And I have some drawings here that are sort of strange and weird. This is the next entry for Monday the 15th, August 2011, 10:40 p.m. Today was the first day of school, of 11th grade. Exclamation points. I'm not being very enthusiastic because it's very late and the walls in my house are thin and my voice is loud and my dad's asleep. It was wonderful. I played guitar after I woke up, took Bliss for a walk, and showered. I took my dog for a walk just before school. Then, the group all went to IHOP. Jeff picked me up. IHOP was good. Sam, she looked like a woman. She wore a lot of makeup. I don't really like makeup, but regardless. Sam is a girl that I was trying to make my girlfriend for like a year or two, with no luck. You'll find out more about this as I read. She was beautiful. I slipped her my classes under the table and it was totally sexy. She used both of her hands. I don't know how to explain it, but I liked it. Tons of exclamation points. After High Hop, we went to Walmart and I tried to win a stuffed animal for Sam. $6. Wasted. But it's okay because I saw Mike. Mike was a gay flamboyantly fabulous gay at Walmart who was a cashier, and I met him once, I think. Like, I had him check me out at the line, and I was enamored with him ever since because we have the same name. On school. I was better than I thought. No classes with Sam, though. Face. I really like Sam today. I really don't give her enough recognition/attention, though. Something to work on. Oh, Samantha, how I would keep you if I had you. I don't know. Live in the moment. I should. Love. Anyway, good night. And I drew a dragonfly and Angels and Airwaves Love logo, or writing for one of their albums, and the dragonfly symbolizes the second stage turbine blade for Coheed and Cambria's first album, which I was really into at that time. I can't be anything the way I feel around you. No more. Another lonely night. When will I learn? One mistake at a time. Not even the sun can look at me. Check my pulse. Pray I'm here. In the words I will write, my heart won't beat. Yeah, that last line was completely stolen from Coheed. In the words I will write, that was probably stolen from Light in the Glass by Coheed, or most likely from Light in the Glass by Coheed. Next entry, August 19th, 2011, 9:37 p.m. Today sucks. It's weird. Today sucks. Today. I didn't get much sleep, so I think that's what made it so bad. My brain wasn't working. It never works, though. Sam, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry you have to deal with this with me. I just want to make you smile. I haven't been able to laugh at this. I can, super easily, but I don't want to. I feel like this is really silly. This is really silly shit to be all worked up about. But at the same time, I want some sort of attention for it. This sadness of it all. I don't know if is it even sad to look at if I was an outsider? I'll have to think about it. Next entry, Wednesday, August 24, 9:48 p.m. So, exclamation point, smiley face. Today equals good day. Tons of exclamation points. Date with Sam, success, equals success. I wrote suck at first, then I scribbled it out and wrote success with 3 exclamation points. I wonder why. We saw Captain America. The movie itself, I remember little. Was thinking about Sam the whole time. We held hands, but by my doing, of course. She actually held on this time, and it wasn't awkward. We talked about school for some reason. I now know her weirdest dreams. The end. Good entry, Mike. I don't talk very much in this journal. I don't talk much at all, really. So I'm sorry about that. But I remember on that day, I think my mom or Frank took me and Sam to the movies, picked her up from her house, and drove to the theater, and we talked probably a little bit, and we didn't know what movie to watch when we got to the theater, which is probably a strange thing. You should probably have that planned out if you're going on a date with somebody, but I didn't have it planned. I just asked her out through a note, I think, and we went to the theater. But since we didn't know what movie to watch, I decided we should just do rock, paper, scissors as to what movie we wanted to watch. I wanted to watch Captain America, and she actually had the better choice of what to watch, which I can't remember. It was probably a comedy. but I won, I think. Obviously, I won. And so we watched Captain America. Before that, before we actually saw the movie, because we arrived just a bit early, we played a bit at the arcade. Within the movie theater. It wasn't really an arcade. It was just one of the arcade setups of the motorcycles, the racing cycles. And so we did that, and she beat me fair and square. I was trying to win, but she won. And I felt really awkward about that because, well, not about that, just the whole thing, because I didn't know what to say. Such a stupid thing. And I felt pretty nervous the whole time. We had the date, but we saw the movie. I didn't, my head constantly racing thoughts while watching it. I don't remember, actually, my head racing thoughts. The only thing I really remember is Red Skull, his face. I just remember that part from watching the movie. And the winter. I remember maybe a bit of it, but obviously we held hands. And then after the movie, we just sat outside of a Cafe Rio and talked for a bit. We talked about school. The conversation flowed nicely. I remember. That was my favorite part about the whole entire day, was the talking afterward. Everything was natural. Everything felt good. Then we were picked up, dropped her off, and I went home. And that was probably the end of the night. Today, Mom woke me up, and of course, it being Saturday, I knew we were going to the ranch. She said something I didn't really understand. I heard we leave in 50 min, but of course they exaggerate, so I never take their time estimates seriously. I made eggs Benedict for breakfast. Frank came home after getting lumber and really wanted to leave. I still made breakfast, and we ended up to the ranch. I scrolled out, leaving off to the ranch at 9, getting 9 to 10ish. I helped Adam and Ricky frame a little bit. I guess I wasn't really helping much, though. I was learning the ropes. When Adam and Ricky left, it was 3 to 4ish. Adam is my stepbrother-in-law, who is probably around 28 now, 28, 29, and he was the first to marry one of the girls in Frank's family, and they did that through a child out of wedlock. So they decided to get married because of the kid. And he's really funny. He's an awesome guy. He's been my role model, or my idol. I don't know. Role model sounds too inaccurate because I haven't really tried to follow any role of his, and idol is too much because he's not done anything great. But I've looked up to him a lot. He's probably been who I've wanted to be like the most in my life, because he's really funny and really intelligent and really cool. And Ricky is kind of a loser. He was a bit into drugs, and he was dating my stepsister at the time. They were dating for maybe a year or two. I didn't really like him. He was kind of stupid. I hate to sound judgmental, but it was kind of not dopey, but He had a little bit of fat on him. He didn't talk very intelligently. Yeah, that's really judgmental, but he was dating, aside from this judgmental talk, he was dating my stepsister, who was a recovered drug addict, but they both, when they started like living together, they started getting back into drugs a bit. And I liked him. He was fine, but he wasn't Adam. And he was also Adam was a framer, and he might still be a framer today. He was a really good framer. And Ricky was a framer, I think, as well. And so they helped out a lot with construction, with constructing things that my stepfather needed or wanted. And I was 15 at the time, and I didn't have much work experience, and so I was just learning how to use a nail gun and put together frames for a garage. I think this is what it was. But yeah, there's like, these are two experts putting together a house, and I'm just dunkin helping away, which I suppose is good. I wasn't too bad. I was working. And I'll just continue on reading. And yeah, 4 o'clock passes by, 5 goes by, and I tell Mom we to leave, so like 6 came by. Frank, underline, does a load of dishes, goes and takes a shower, and then goes and waters some trees. 7 comes. I should be decorating Sam's room right now. Oh, I have the date for this. Do I have the date for this? I don't. August, September, so somewhere in there. This is the day that I was, Saturday. So this was the day that I asked, or should have asked, Sam out to, like homecoming or Sadie's, one of those dances, homecoming obviously, and I contacted her parents, and I didn't really, so like context, I've really had like no contact with her parents. Maybe I did, actually, maybe I shouldn't say that. I've had very limited contact with her parents up to this point, and also very limited, like, I don't know, maybe like social contact with Samantha at this time. So I texted her mom or called her and asked her if I could come over on Saturday and decorate Samantha's room with balloons so I could ask her out to homecoming. And she said yes, and so I was super excited about that. And working at the ranch, it's a end of the world sort of resort or fallout, end of the world shelter in the desert. So I wasn't very happy to work there, but it was, it's way out in the middle of nowhere. Probably, it's about 40 minutes away from where we lived, and where Samantha lived, because she lived in the same area, but, that looked weird. Yeah, this is the day that Frank intentionally took forever to do anything, or he took forever to delay me, to get to her house to decorate her things, because he was mad at me, because I don't remember, so I'll read this. 7:30 Dot 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 dot. We leave. Frank tries to teach me a lesson and make me and Mom feel inferior. I actually stand up for myself. I yelled a little bit. I cried. Lots of mucus drips out my nose. My body feels like it's throwing. We get home. Frank back anyway. Bliss gets lost. I come home. Mom talks to me. I come in here. Oh yeah. When we were arguing in the car, Mom said I was a zombie. True, so true. Anyway, I fucking hate my life. Hate it. I once again desire to live with my father. I'm sorry, Sam. It seems that's the only I can say to you, or think about, or should say. Sigh. I should explain why I'm sorry for this time. Yesterday I made decorations like balloons and a puzzle thing to decorate Sam's room to ask her to homecoming. And she's up camping in Kolob with tech girls for Alyssa's 16th b-day. I still feel dead. So I went to her place at like 8, meant to be there sooner, but trouble with my mom. I really do it that late? That's crazy. Talked to her dad. He told me to come back today at 7 to decorate her room. Fucking ugh. I'm sorry you have to deal with me. I should just stop. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. It's not a big deal. Yeah. Now that I read this now, I don't know if I was saying that my mom was calling me a zombie when I was, like, talking or yelling in the car, trying to defend myself, or that she was calling me a zombie because that's how I was starting to act, just in general, like my personality or just the way I was. But when I read this a few weeks ago, I thought that was very poignant. I thought that was very serious and very revealing about myself, because I felt like at work they started like calling me a robot behind my back. And just in general, I thought that gave evidence to my depression when I was that age. Kind of like hearing that, if that was the actual case, because that validates myself. That validates me that I actually had a problem, or I actually had an illness. And there's something else I read in my diary that I'm trying to really get at. It was one of the entries I said that I felt like I was depressed, and I gave some details about how my thinking was slower. And I thought that was very serious, that my thinking was slower. And I completely forgot about that. I don't know if my thinking's slow right now. I feel like I think pretty quickly. But I feel like I'm normal, but at the same time, can't really say that I'm not normal. Next entry. Oh yeah, and while I was arguing with Frank or yelling at him, my body felt, I don't know if any of you have experienced this, but it sort of feels like when you feel an intense emotion through whatever. I know some people have had religious experiences with this, where you sort of feel like electricity is flowing through your body, or that your body has, like, it feels like you're a caveman and you're like trapped in a block of ice and you're completely thawed out. That's essentially how you feel with one of these intense, like, emotional situations, that your body just feels completely, like you're being thawed out of a frozen state, like physically, like maybe like you get your hand frozen or like really cold and then you thaw it out, and that's the sort of feeling you get. That's what I felt at the time. I was like crying and I was really unhappy, and I wrote a poem about it, about like a caveman. Oh, I think I wrote it in here. I was really proud of that poem. But these pages are just filled with me attempting a signature, which is probably, I think this is years later when I'm trying my signature out. Which I still have today, and I still don't like my signature. I don't think it's very signature-y. Not very good handwriting I have. August 29th, Monday, 9:49 p.m., 2011. Sam is going to scribbled marks. Today, went to school. Dude, I freaking fail at chemistry. I don't think I even spelled it right. And yeah, Sam and I have it together. Dude, ... Communication between us is like zero, zilch, zip, none. I went over to her place today and decorated her room. It took a little while and I felt a bit awkward doing it. While I was doing it, I thought... While I was doing it, though, I couldn't help thinking about how I might be having intercourse with her in her bed. I highly doubt I will, but still, yeah, I totally made it. Pink and green. Strange colors. Ultimate green hairbrush. We need to talk more. I don't want her to get away. I really don't. I hope she says yes. Our relationship is quite precarious. I physically wrote out R-A-R-E instead of our, because that's how Americans say our sometimes is R. If you've ever noticed that. Also, both. When I was in elementary school, I was writing on the computer on one of the Macs, and I wrote down both, like B-O-L-T-H, trying to spell out both, B-O-T-H, and I had no idea what the hell was going on when I got the red underlines on the word. I was like, what the fuck? It's both. Don't you know how to spell computer? Anyway, when I talk to her, I can see she likes me, but she feels uncomfortable. I can hear it. I want her to be comfy around me. I don't want to lose you. Sorry for me. OMG, I remember. Once upon a time, like last year, or probably 9th grade, I had a dream about Sam. We were in the bus, and everyone else was gone. It was just us. And there was a straight light cascading into the bus. I saw Sam was either emitting or absorbing it, and she was smiling and she was beautiful. Just remembered. Hear the poem from the other day. The caveman is frozen. Not a wink, a blink, a breath of fresh air in his lungs, a cold, tired sleep. Through he sees the sun, a warmth he's long forgotten. It sprinkles on his skin. The journey has begun. Love, life, joy, a legacy. The sun will never set as long as he lives. I think that's okay, right? That's an okay poem. I think it's alright. But then again, I don't read poetry or anything like that. 9/6/11, 8:49 p.m. So today, dude, I don't even care to read this stuff anymore. It's so boring. My diary is boring. My life is boring. I suppose that will be all I will read for tonight. Maybe I'll write some more of these, or post some more of these in time. But for now, this will be it. I pretty much just use this YouTube thing as like a digital catalog for video diaries. If any of you have ever, if any of you do journal entries, or maybe would like to do journal entries, or maybe I've just given you an idea to start journal entering, this would be a good way to do it. I suggest that you do as I do. Use your iPod, or perhaps your computer, or webcam, whatever you can use, and record on that device, then upload the video to YouTube and set it to private. So then you will always have an online copy or video of your diary entry forever and ever, and you can delete it off your computer, and you'll have none of your space taken up from thousands of HD videos, or SD if that's what you choose to have on your computer, taking up hard drive space. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm also writing in a digital journal that I have an app for my laptop and my iPod, which can be simultaneously updated or synced to, so I have all my entries on my computer and all my entries on my iPod that I can just also like automatically update each other through either, like, I can type on the computer and it'll update to my iPhone, and I'll type on my iPhone and it'll update my computer automatically. It's called Day One. I don't particularly enjoy using it on my iPod because the writing experience is shit. So I don't recommend you buying the iPod version. I would recommend you just... if it's your only option, if you only have like an iPod and you want to do a digital diary like that, like Word diary, it's a great app to use if that's your only option. But writing in a physical journal is fine too, but if you want that sort of style or just that experience, or I just wanted it for convenience and just like the experience, and off of a whim, really, to have it, I would say totally go for it. But the just touchscreen keyboard to me is horrible, really horrible. I would 100% rather do all my diary logging on my computer as opposed to the iPod. So I recommend, I think it's $10 on the App Store for the Mac version, and I don't know what it is on the App Store for the mobile, for iOS. I got mine for free from, I think it was IGN Prime, if I'm being serious with you. I think it was a freebie for IGN Prime that I got. And I didn't even subscribe to IGN Prime. I don't now, but they were giving out, they used to give out codes, at least, like a set amount of codes just to the public, for whatever digital product they were giving out for that month, to promote IGN Prime, I suppose. And I downloaded it and I have it now. And it's a cool thing. I mean, you can also, it takes the time, the day, the location, and you can upload pictures onto it, and if you're on your iPod or your digital or your mobile device, it also like document the music you're listening to at that time, which is, you know, that's something else to listen to. And it has a couple of formatting options on the mobile version. On the Mac version, it has some features too, like you can do really quick entries from the toolbar up top on your Mac, and it can do automatic reminders on both devices and pictures as well. And the Mac version has a really cool thing that it has like a header on top of every journal entry you can write. Not for you to like, like say this is what today has been, or for you to actually like put in like a header or a title, but it has like suggestions or questions for you to respond to, like, would you consider your childhood a happy one? Why or why not? Where did you live at the age of 3? Where did you grow up? And I'll have like suggestions also, like journal entries are more fun when they're about more than you just writing about your day, like write stories or something, right? A song, like suggestions like that. I'm saying like a lot. I don't talk very much, so this is the only experience with words I can't use. That's a feature I really like about the desktop Mac version, is that it has those questions it asks you. I never use it because I feel always so constricted with my time, even though I have copious amounts of time. But I just write straight up journal entries for the day on my day one app. But I love that feature that it's there for me whenever I want to use it. And they're really good questions. They're always good questions. Could probably talk for a lot longer because I love to talk. But those were my diary entries. Do I seem like a zombie now? My face is irritating me like fuck. Right. It's because I haven't washed my face today, and as I haven't showered today at all. Oof. And I'm tired, and I feel my acne starting to flare up. Not a good situation. Anyway, I hope this was at least mildly entertaining, or giving me, or maybe it'll respond, give me some sort of validation. Thanks for your time and your comments. Goodbye. Hopefully I didn't seem insensitive there. I just got nervous. I get really disconnected emotionally when I feel nervous, so I don't mean to seem like rude or anything when I am rude or emotionally unavailable. I just get really uncomfortable with emotionally relating to people or putting myself out there, so even then I just disconnect from people emotionally, so I don't get hurt by becoming emotionally invested in people. Yep, that's me. Anyway, yeah, thanks for your time. Good night.